Hello from New York, and good morning if you're in New York. And so, if it's morning for you, yeah, I'd like to thank the viewers today of YouTube. You're the reason YouTube exists. I hope some of you will view me, and and that you get something good out of it, you know. So thanks to you, and thanks again to Nestle for my drink. To all of the growers of coffee, cow, you know, which we get, but they make great sacrifices. Okay, so thank you very much. Um, things were better for you. Yeah, no, it's a heavy subject. If you're not in the mood for heavy, I don't know, go watch TikTok. Um, yeah, the subject is the problem with power viewed from the IMC perspective, the inner mind communication philosophy. Um, there's a spiritual problem, first of all, and I'm talking about on the social level, and it's not in line with empathetic love flow. It's when you have too much power concentrated in. It's all about that power and keeping that power, and using that power is very tempting in order to gain more of the wealth for one and influence for oneself as opposed to others. There's different kinds of fields and types of power. That's one of the problems, and that stops obviously empathy, caring for others. Proper thanks to all trading partners involved in our world, even those who bless us by needing us, my children, uh, those who are hopelessly ill. You are a blessing, an opportunity to give. So it stops that empathetic love flow by degrees. It increases selfishness. Lawlessness is part of that problem. Um, and yeah, it also increases. Uh, pardon me for looking at my notes. Anyway, that's my excuse. And Biden doesn't need that, but they call him Zeta. Pretty smart guy, if you ask me. He handles his age much better than I do. Anyway, hmm, yeah, and it increases poverty, and that can increase lawlessness as well. And it's like I've heard people that they pretend to pay me, so I pretend to work. It's which also means you're not honoring yourself. You know, I lectured one younger coworker once who came up with a line like that. All you do is dishonor yourself. They underpay you. That's their dishonor. You underwork. You don't give that quality. That's on you. And it hurts your bargaining power. There's no benefit to that. So, and as he was changing his mind and turning around, those in power fired him. Yeah. A little more empathetic love flow, please. Okay. Inner worth. Yeah. Your inner worth and the felt inner worth of others is bypassed. See, what do I say here? Well, bypasses concern for others and even for one's own better good. So it's hard to even see what's best for yourself if you know you're not properly caring toward others. Odds are you're going to be not caring toward yourself. Power can cause you not to accept like your flaws, your weaknesses that could be helped by someone else. The love flow is again damaged, and the other person is damaged, and you're damaged. Your own self-worth is damaged. Your own sense of what's best for yourself and what your worth is. That's important. Sounds kind of cold, but in a world of give and take and trade is king, you have to be concerned with that. What of value am I giving to you? Like in doing this, what of value am I giving to you that you can use? And if I have too much power, like if I get plenty of money, plenty of time, and everything, I might not care. I just come on and say whatever I like, and not be concerned with the audience, right? So it bypasses proper concern. And me under number 2 predisposes one toward using law itself, lay blame on one's opponents. It's law without mercy, law governed by a few power. It's not a good thing. It's and using, the temptation is when you have a lot of power, the temptation is to not accept blame on your proper blame on yourself, and to use law in order to push punishment on people that offend you. It's like, oh, there's 5 people out there, they're doing the same thing. Well, when do you not show mercy? The one that offends you. And so law becomes twisted and misused. That's it for my notes. Now I'm waiting. I very concerned now with where the world's going, and there's areas of hope, but it looks like greed and power can be our demise as a human race. That's very sad. You know, like to see humanity keep going, and if you would also like to see that, then you know, do good wherever you are. I think it's better to do good sometimes, um, close at hand than distanced and far away. Um, you know, like brighten the place where you are. And that can be tricky. But that calls on you to be very self-reflective and be careful about what you say. Whereas on the internet and talking to people like this, am I going to be as sensitive to you? Maybe not. So, you know, I try to not be too offensive in any way in what I say. Um, it's nobody's fault, but that any of us, it's not our fault if we are lacking in the love. It's a high bar, but it's something that you know we should work on. And you can have people, you know, that purport to be spiritual, and it's really about power themselves. You know, here's the guru. He comes penniless, but soon afterwards he's driving a limousine and so on. Some leeway for that, you know. When you gain a position of influence, you need to protect yourself. Now, there's some wealth that you need to have, some cushion, because you make yourself a target. Another thing about power, careful, do you really want it? What do you want it for? But yeah, I mean, like the president needs a plan, right? Cars, keep people, you know, doing harm to him. You know, that's quite reasonable. Who's wealthy, they need a certain amount of cushion. But and we shouldn't be too harsh about people having a certain power. When is the cutoff line? Where does power become a real problem? Well, I would say something that throws off the balance between church, state, uh, media, and business, where it causes an undue influence in one of those areas to the exclusion of being able to clearly hear, recognize the voice of the other perspectives. The United States is pretty good at doing that. Europe is pretty good at doing that. Many other countries are not. Canada, of course. Mexico to some degree. But who knows? I'm not going to make judgments about this. But it certainly do see a lot more problems in impoverished areas. Yeah. So I think wisdom is impaired in such situations, and where certain people have a lot of power and influence, other people will give them credit where credit isn't due. And what I really like are the humble scientists. They're usually not very wealthy. Without, oh my gosh, so much that we wouldn't have today and won't have for the future. Hats off to those humble souls like Richard Neil deGrasse Tyson, favorites. Einstein. Yeah, these folks are amazing, and we have amazing people working in pharmacology. You know, who are very humble. Yeah. So humility is a big thing, you know, where the humility starts to go. You see where power begins to be a problem. I kind of came to that reasoning. Didn't think of that before. So I'm being enlightened because of you. Whenever we communicate one to another, we enlighten each other, but we also enlighten ourselves. Big time. Even when we're just sharing or attempting to share a concept. We have to improve that concept. We think about that concept and so, you know, there's something wrong with what I just said there. Maybe somebody really smart would point that out. Anyway, that's some of my thoughts. What are yours? I'd love to hear from anybody. It does no good to shout if you're down in a well. And there's nobody around for 100 miles. So sometimes it can feel like that doing YouTube. I hope I'm doing some good. They say flapping my jaws. How do you flap a jaw? There's a puzzle. I mean, yeah, I'd like to mention that this whole thing that I'm able to do here is wow. Big Linux helped me out a lot, thanks to Brazilian distro Big Linux built on Manjaro. Thanks to those folks. Thanks to Linux and all of its forms and all of the people helping that advance. Very big fan of Linux, and yeah, and a very big fan. Everything considered, I'm a very big fan of a guy named Joe Biden. I think, well, why? He doesn't get credit. He does amazing good things, and no credit, you know. People are tearing him down. There's a guy who think, and he's not the only one, I think, but he stands out because, you know, he's such a target. So, you know, whatever good people do, then that's right. You know, as far as Trump goes, I mean, well, I think we need to get away from this punishment kind of thing. You know, he's obviously has mental problems. That's because I understand that. It causes me to have a great deal of compassion for everybody. Because they didn't choose, you know, whatever you're criticizing them for. They didn't choose to be flawed. We're flawed because of a lot of influences that we had no control over, especially growing up. I'm particularly concerned the children today suffering, the people in Hamas due to the suffering due to Hamas in that region of the world, and which surrounds Gaza needs help. Ukraine needs help. We should be helping everybody. You know, we go in and we try to help. We should help wounded Russians who are stranded in Ukraine. You know. Jesus said, "Do good to those who despitefully use you. Bless those who curse you." I think that's some good advice. I need to tone it down all the way around. Increase the love flow. Anyway, I'd like to part with my favorite word, perhaps. Namaste. And all that is wonderful and loving, one with the universe. Me, really honors. Same thing. Send you, whoever you are, wherever you are. Have a wonderful day. Stay.